The preserved Great Central Railway is one of the most unique heritage lines in the UK. Running from Loughborough to Leicester North, the line has a long and proud history and boasts a number of unique features that you won't see anywhere else. We cover all of that and more as we take a look at 101 facts about the preserved Great Central Railway. This heritage route runs on part of the original Great Central Railway Mainline. It was opened as far back as 1897. The preserved Great Central Railway line was formally reopened on the 23rd of March 1974. It is the only double-track mainline heritage railway in the world. 5.25 miles of the route has this double track, allowing for the incredible sight of trains passing each other in motion in a heritage setting. The total running length of the line is 8.25 miles. Another unique feature of this heritage line is that it even has its own branch line, the only preserved railway in the UK to have such a link. We'll have more on this later in the video. It is one of two halves of surviving heritage routes of the old GCR. The other half is the Great Central Railway Nottingham. Its primary base is at Ruddington. A reunification project is currently well underway, and we'll cover this too later in the video. Much of this stretch of line was built to serve the original GCR's London extension, where trains would travel into London Marylebone Station. It was the last Victorian mainline railway to reach London in the late 1800s. The railway is home to a large steam and diesel fleet of over 30 locomotives, one of the most impressive rosters of any preserved railway. The most famous locomotive currently stabled at the GCR is number 70013 Oliver Cromwell, on loan from the National Railway Museum. Oliver Cromwell, seen here in action on the North Norfolk Railway, is undergoing an overhaul at Loughborough after the expiration of its latest boiler ticket. The previous one ran out on New Year's Day 2019. Work on the overhaul is well underway, and the National Railway Museum has extended its loan of the locomotive into December 2021, with a further extension to take place subject to the completion of the overhaul. More British Railway standard classes have formed the backbone of the modern GCR's motive power, including the 9F class number 92214, which carries the name Leicester City. Other locomotives from the standard fleet include a BR Standard 5, number 73156, plus two standard Class 2 types, numbers 78018 and 78019, the latter of which is currently being overhauled. Similar to the BR Standard classes are their London, Midland and Scottish Railway predecessors. First, an LMS Standard Class 2 survives here in number 46521. There are two LMS Black 5s and two LMS 8Fs in the fleet. Black 5s are the currently operational 45305 and the currently unoperational 45491. The 8Fs consist of 48305, currently operational, and 48624, which has been withdrawn for overhaul, though we can see it in action here with archive footage. Most of the locomotives that served the original Great Central Railway have long since been scrapped, though the railway does feature one example, an 8K Class 280 number 63601, appearing courtesy of the National Railway Museum and currently undergoing an overhaul. Though not actually a member of its fleet, a special mention should be given to another original GCR example, a large director class GCR number 506 Butler Henderson, which is also part of the National Collection. The locomotive visited the preserved GCR for an extended period in the 1980s through to the early 1990s, a crucial period in the company's growth as a heritage tourist attraction. Today, it's on static display at the NRM in York. Other members of the GCR steam fleet include a Great Western Hall class 6990 Witherslack Hall to be exact, a Southern King Arthur class 777 Samuel, plus Ginty and J94 tank engines, number 47406 and 68067 respectively. Excitingly, a new project is currently well underway to complete a Victorian 440 locomotive. This is taking place at the GCRN's workshops at Ruddington and could run over both of the heritage lines once they are reconnected. The diesel fleet is just as varied, with Class 20s, 25s, 31s, 45s, 47s and 50s all forming an impressive motive power lineup. The variety of coaches is also well maintained, including a Pullman dining set, a travelling post office set, plus the usual rake of Mark I coaches. The GCR also has a strong collection of freight vehicles, often forming some of the largest demonstration goods trains on any preserved line in the UK. One particular goods set that always pleases the eye is the Windcutter set, which consists of several mineral wagons and was part of a successful steam railway magazine appeal. The railway runs a variety of dining services, with a number of these planned for 2021 subject to government guidance. These range from a buffet griddle car during regular services, plus full Pullman-style dining services. As with many heritage lines, driver experience days can also be purchased. Naturally, these are extremely popular, especially with a double-track main line to play with. A number of rail operators also work with the GCR to provide rail industry testing and training. Their clients have previously included the likes of Network Rail and Brush Traction. There are 4 stations on the line between Loughborough and Leicester North, each with a different look and feel. Loughborough Central is the line's main headquarters, including the company's main administration offices and the shed for the locomotives. The station itself is restored to British Railway's 1950s condition. Cornwell Woodhouse Station is based on the 1940s, during and after the Second World War. Down the line, the station at Rothley is based on the Edwardian Era. Finally, the line terminates at Leicester North, which has a BR 1960s look. In 1923, the GCR, along with several other companies, were amalgamated to create the London and North Eastern Railway. It was then nationalised as part of British Railways, where it would fall foul of the infamous Beeching Acts. It was closed along with most of the original GCR network on the 17th of March 1969. During this time, local groups who opposed the closure of the route formed the MLPG, the Mainline Preservation Group. By 1970, the MLPG earned the lease of the station and facilities at Loughborough Central, earning the rest of the yard complex by 1972. After securing more track bed towards Cornwell Woodhouse, the new GCR opened on the 23rd of March 1974, 5 years after closure. Despite a few false starts and some tough negotiations with British Rail, the line gradually reopened in stages, extending to Rothley and then to the new terminus at Leicester North, which was opened in 1990. The new millennium saw the reborn GCR achieve one of its long-held dreams when the completed double-track section between Loughborough and Rothley was completed in 2000. This provides a number of benefits to the line, including increased capacity to complement the sight of trains passing each other on a heritage line. Typically, heritage lines are limited to 25 miles per hour. However, on the GCR, it's not uncommon to see them passing through on special workings up to 45 miles per hour. Her Majesty's Rail Inspectorate has previously granted powers allowing the GCR to run private test trains up to 60 miles an hour. Let's look at the stations and their different features, starting back at Loughborough. This was opened as Loughborough Central on the 15th of March 1899. It features a unique canopy, the longest of its kind in railway preservation. The buildings, original GCR signal box, and the 3 original water towers are all Grade 2 listed. As mentioned previously, the running shed is also based here. This will eventually be demolished as part of the GCR's huge reunification project with the GCRN. A new 8 road shed will be built in its place, allowing for even more capacity for the GCR's home and visiting locomotive fleet. Cornwell Woodhouse Station was also opened on the 15th of March 1899. The station appears today as it would have done in the 1940s under the stewardship of the London and North Eastern Railway. The station has a unique wartime NAFI tea room, which has a number of unique items of memorabilia, a warm fire, and a good old-fashioned cuppa. The surrounding yard also features a turntable, which originally served the shed where the National Railway Museum at York now stands. A popular sight during special events at the station is the running of its travelling post train, which features live demonstrations of the mechanisms used to dispatch and collect mail whilst on the move. The coaches that form the GCR's post train are owned and maintained by Railway Vehicle Preservations Limited. Before the line reaches the next station, Rothley, the line passes through the key interchange of Swithland sidings. This part of the line and its surrounding complex were built in 1898. A station to serve Swithland was originally built along this stretch, though curiously it was never actually completed or even opened. The signalling here is extremely impressive. It uses Great Western Railway style equipment to represent the Great Western and Great Central joint railway system. Much of the site had been ripped up by British Railways upon the closure of the original GCR. Today, there is a 4-road section of mainline track relayed, and there is plenty of capacity for a variety of movements thanks to the passing loop and surrounding sidings. It also links to the Mount Sorrel branch line, another one of the GCR's most unique features. This line was originally built to serve stone trains from the nearby Mount Sorrel quarries, which would then travel all over the country from Swithland sidings. After closure from British Rail, this stretch of line laid untouched for years before local resident Steve Cramp led a project to reinstate the branch. After a huge community effort, the first passenger trains rolled along the line in 2013. Today, the site of the former Nunkley Quarry is home to the Mount Sorrel and Rothley Community Heritage Centre, a unique part of the preserved GCR network in its own right. There's a small shed here for some of the branch's rolling stock and even a short narrow gauge line. Back down the main GCR network, we reach the Edwardian Era set station of Rothley. Like others on the line, the station opened on the 15th of March 1899. The station was originally closed by BR on the 4th of March 1964, but the GCR restored the route from Loughborough back through to Rothley in the 70s, where the site has undergone more excellent restoration. The site of the old station goods yard has been developed to include a tea room, a miniature railway, a car park and a modern carriage works. Leaving the double track section, we head to Leicester North. Just before Leicester North, there had been a station at Belgrave and Birstall. The former station buildings had sadly been vandalised beyond repair and were subsequently demolished. However, Leicester North sits a few hundred metres to the south, sitting inside Leicester's city boundary, hence the new title. Traces of the old Belgrave and Birstall station can be seen just to the north, with the original entrance by the bridge carrying the road overhead. This humble terminus features a main platform and a single waiting room, dressed up in 1960s style. This section of line was reached by the preserved GCR in 1990 and officially opened to the public by Dame Margaret Weston in 1991. The railway has also leased out an old community centre nearby to form the unique Greenacres site, offering office spaces to businesses. Owed to have an office space with a steam railway on its doorstep. Leicester North Station is situated a short distance from the old Leicester Central Station as the trains carried on travelling down towards London. The station building still remains in situ today should you wish to go and visit when safe to do so. Sadly, there's little chance of the preserved line extending back towards this site. However, back at the northern terminus of the line at Loughborough, an exciting initiative called the Gcr Reunification project is well underway, where the GCR and the GCRN towards Ruddington will reinstate the connection between the two sections. The original connection was severed in yet another cutback from British Railways between 1973 and 1980. However, its reinstatement will turn the preserved lines into an 18-mile heritage main line stretching right across the East Midlands. Only 500 metres actually separate the two lines, though there are a number of complex hurdles to overcome to complete the link. However, key stages have already been completed as the project gathers pace. The first major milestone was the completion of a new bridge over the Midland Mainline, one of the biggest obstacles to overcome and a landmark moment for the project. Next, the bridge carrying the original line over the Grand Union Canal received a complete overhaul. Both of these bridges are now ready to carry heritage trains. There are 5 phases still left to complete. Departing north from Loughborough and passing the newly overhauled canal bridge, a new 300-metre-long embankment needs to be installed. This will then link up to a bridge over Railway Terrace Road, which forms Phase 3. Phase 4 sees the continuation of a bridge over a factory car park. With the bridge over the Midland Main Line already complete, the 6th phase sees another embankment constructed to reach the final phase. This consists of repairing an existing bridge over the A60 road. Once these 7 phases are complete, so too is the reunification of the two lines and the completion of one of the most unique projects in preservation history. Incredibly, the Loughborough to Leicester line doesn't have a current physical connection to Network Rail. However, the reunification project will rectify this, taking advantage of the GCRN's current connection to the Midland Main Line, a short distance from where the new bridge has been installed. The next target is to complete the section over the factory car park, where another £3 million is required before building can commence. More information and updates about fundraising and project development can be found at gcrailway.co.uk/unify. The railway's official YouTube channel has over 7,000 subscribers. Its official Facebook page is followed by just over 25,000 people. Its Twitter page has just over 7,000 followers, and its Instagram page has just under 7,000 followers. You can find out more information about the line at gcrailway.co.uk. Due to the global pandemic, an emergency fundraising appeal has also been launched. For more information about this, you can visit gcrailway.co.uk/emergency appeal. I hope you enjoyed this video featuring 101 facts about the preserved Great Central Railway. If you found it interesting, then please hit us with a thumbs up, leave a comment and click subscribe for more weekly railway content just like this. Bye for now.